Steph Hodge with Board Game Geek, here with Sarah from Renegade Games, and today we get to look at Raiders of Scythia. How's it going, Sarah?
Good, good. How are you, Steph?
Doing awesome. I mean, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm excited to hear all about Raiders of Scythia.
Yeah, so this is a new game that we have coming out later this year. We're actually going to be selling it at Gen Con next week, and people can get this early if they order it during or by the end of Gen Con. We're going to ship it out right away, but otherwise you'll have to wait till October. So one of those early release deals, which is exciting. And it's from our partners over at Garfield Games. And this is exciting because it is similar to Raiders of the North Sea, but it has some definitely significant changes that make it feel really fresh. And I would say more than anything, streamlined. So if you like the super simplicity of Raiders of the North Sea, but you want to crank that up just a little bit, this is the game for you. So in
I was just gonna say really quickly that it reminds me of Raiders. I see the spaces at the top and the spaces in the middle, so it looks like there's an added tier and everything. So it gives me that feeling of Raiders. So I hear you when you say that.
Absolutely. And this really does build on Raiders. So if you already know how to play Raiders of the North Sea, you're going to be very, very familiar with this. It feels to me almost like you took Raiders of the North Sea and integrated an expansion right into the box and changed a few little tiny things. But overall, it's still the same worker placement game that you know and love from Raiders of the North Sea. So some of the similarities, because some people may not have played either of them yet. So in this game, it's a worker placement game, but what's unique about it is that every time it's your turn, you start out with exactly one meeple, and you put that meeple onto a worker placement space, and you do whatever that action is. And then you take a worker from any other space where there's already a worker, take it off, and you do that action as well. So you always have two actions that you do during each turn. At the beginning of the game, you'll start out with only a few available spaces up there at the very top of the board. And just like in Raiders of the North Sea, there are things that allow you to get some new resources, collect more cards that you're going to put out on your own player board that let you do better things. And they're just sort of like building up. You get resources, people, whatever you need, and then eventually you have enough stuff to go raid. And so just that very top section is the only area that you start out in. And then once you raid, you start using that lower part of the board. So in Raiders of Scythia, you'll see there's actually 4 sections, and each one of those sections are different areas that as you're expanding your empire, you get to be able to sort of unlock those and have enough resources and have the right color workers to be able to do things. There are still 3 different colors of workers in this game, and each action spot that you want to go to will require one of those 3 different colors. So at the beginning, you only have these gray workers that can do some stuff, but they don't allow you access to the lower parts of the board. Exactly like that. So once you've built up enough provisions, enough things that you need to go and raid, you will take your worker, you'll put it in one of those raiding spots, and then you have to meet certain requirements to be able to do anything on that area, to be able to raid it. And that'll be adding up the strength of all of the character cards that you have on your own player board, and then rolling dice. And each one of those 4 different areas requires you to roll a different set of dice. So here's where we start seeing some pretty big differences from Raiders of the North Sea. So in Raiders of the North Sea, you actually have 3 different tracks on the side of the board. One is for strength, and you can increase the total amount of strength of your entire team as you go along in the game. And that track no longer exists. So in this one, you're just adding up the strength of the cards in front of you, which you can make better. And I'll talk about that in a second. And the other significant difference is that in Raiders of the North Sea, you have these Valkyries. And when you go to a raiding spot and you successfully raid it, if there is a black little Valkyrie token in that spot, one of your characters that you used, one of the guys that went raiding with you, is going to die. They go to Valhalla, you get some points for that, and it's fine. that part of the game doesn't exist because that's a very Vikings only theme. In this one, you just see if you can get there or not by rolling dice, and that'll increase your strength, add to your team's strength, and then there we go. But if you roll numbers, it adds to your strength, but if you roll any of these blood symbols, that is damage to your characters. So you'll have to take these blood tokens, add them to the characters on your board, and if that reduces their strength all the way to 0, then if they take one more health knock at the end of that, then they go away. So you can have characters on the board that start out as, say, they're really powerful, like 4 strength, and then they start taking some damage and they become less and less useful to you. And if you don't heal them by doing a different action, then eventually they're just going to go away. So you really do have to balance how your character's health is going on your board, which is something totally new and wasn't in Raiders of the North Sea. The other thing that I love about this new version of the game is that you have horses and eagles that you can also attach to those characters that make them better and will give you extra abilities on those characters as well. So every single one of these animal cards you choose when you take the action to take it, if you want to use it as, say, an eagle or as a horse. And then you will put it underneath on either the top or the bottom of your board to show one or the other. So let's say you decide to do an eagle. And Lincoln is doing a great job down there of showing us how those work. So let's say you attach this as the eagle side. There's a variety of different things that the eagles will do. In this case, it would double the effect that your character has when it's just out on the board. So this character says gain 1 VP when raiding Persia, which is one of those areas. So if you had an eagle attached to that, that would gain you 2 VP when raiding Persia instead. Oh. That's awesome. Like, that's a lot of extra VP.
Yeah.
So let's say instead you chose to do the horse. The horse will add 2 strength to this character. So right now this character is 3 strength. If you attach the horse to it, now it's total strength of 2. And at the end of the game, it's going to get you 1 victory point. So similar to Raiders of the North Sea, each one of these characters has like an ongoing effect if you play it out, or a discard effect, which is that other effect on the side. And the horses and the eagles are just modifying those effects and making your character stronger when it's staying out. But some of the eagles will actually allow you to use that discard effect even after it's out on the board. So they just do these really cool things that are fun and will make your whole troop of raiders even more exciting and better. So that's a really big, I think, difference in the game that I had a lot of fun playing with, and it did make you think about what you were doing and how you were building your team a little bit differently. And it made it exciting and made you like not want to get rid of people that were already on your board a little bit more. So I thought that was a fun change to it. But overall, the game does still have the same ramp up where you start out with almost nothing and you're adding to this, your team, getting a little bit further on. But one other thing that I think is a little bit different, oh yeah, these are cool, are the quests. So each time you go to a new space and you raid it, it'll flip over a quest. And these quests will allow you to turn in provisions or other resources that you collect during the game to get points. And what's nice about that is that it gives you a really good alternative strategy. And there's not just one way to win this game. You can be building up your team and gain lots of points. You can be doing these quests and gain a whole bunch of points. You can be raiding as many different spaces with really big, strong crews to get lots of points that way. There's so many different strategies to success that you could play this a lot of times and try different strategies out, and it's going to be a different game every time. And there's some, this is actually another difference I forgot to mention. So at the beginning of the game, you also start out, these are just characters. You start out with heroes. If you could find the heroes deck and add those up here, that would be awesome. So the heroes are really powerful characters that you start out with at the beginning of the game. And those you can activate using a special spot that exists on the top of the board that isn't in Raiders of the North Sea. And those heroes are really, they just really push you towards a certain strategy. Yeah, flip over. There should not be a lot of them. let's flip one of those over and see. I think those are still the other characters. Oh, no. They shouldn't have any strength in the upper left. And no cost either. I know there's a lot of different cool cards, but one thing that you can see from Lincoln putting these cards out here is the incredible artwork. I think this is just a really different style than what we see in some of the other games.
I love the art.
I really like that. Yeah, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really like that it is so different and really stands out, and it's clear that this is a different piece of history. Raiders has just such a distinct feel and look to it, and you see that in Architects of the West Kingdom and Paladins of the West Kingdom as well, but this one is in that same kind of world, but in a totally different part of it. So I think that's really neat.
Is the one on the player board, is that a character card? The one that's on the player board to the left? Yeah,
That's a hero. Awesome. So the heroes have these special abilities you can see down there in the lower left. Yeah, there we go. Like complete a quest and gain one something. That's one of the resources. So each one of them will have this really, really powerful thing that you can activate. And that symbol you'll also sometimes find on the eagles, and the eagles will let you activate either one of the things on the cards, or maybe it'll let you activate your hero. There's lots of different ways to end up doing that. There are also some heroes that let you activate this twice. So there's a lot of cool extra strategy that can involve he's showing us some of the different eagle abilities that will allow you to do different things with these heroes. So but they do really push you in a direction, because you only get one at the beginning of the game. You don't ever swap it out or anything, but you do draft these. So there's always, you start out being able to see a few of these different options, then you draft them at the beginning, and then that's the strategy you're going for that game. So cool. Like I said, this is a 2 to 4 player game. It is $55. We do also have a coin upgrade pack for this. So if you are one of those people like me who loves metal coins because they're amazing, there are metal coins that you can order with this too. And these look like they are for the solo version. There is a solo variant included in the box for this too, which I know makes a lot of people very happy, especially now. You can play it, you can learn the basic mechanics, figure out how to play, and then trick other people in your household or bubble to play with you, which should be pretty easy.
That's what I do.
So,
the bits also look really cool.
Out, like I said, in October 7th, which is a little ways out. But if you order our website now or anytime through the end of Gen Con, we're going to ship it out right away.
Oh, cool. So people can order it now, hopefully get it next week during Gen Con. Otherwise, you might have to wait a few months. But it looks amazing. I love Raiders, so I'm very excited to try this one. The artwork is fantastic.
It is just a really different and beautiful take on this game, and I do like that they added so much other extra stuff to it. It's not just a straight up reprint of Raiders of the North Sea, but with different artwork. There is enough that this feels like if I were in love with Raiders and I wanted to buy, say, an expansion for it, but I wanted it to be a little bit more than that, this is what I would get.
Excellent. And is there any other news regarding like other Scythia type games? Or we have a few minutes, so I don't know if there's anything you want to spill about this world or what you know.
So if you love all these Garfield games, the North Sea series, the West Kingdom series, Viscounts of the West Kingdom is actually coming out at the end of October. So October is just going to be all of the awesome Garfield games stuff coming out at once. And with Viscounts, which is, again, another worker placement game, that one's by Sam McDonald. He did the rest of the series as well. It is really cool. It has this huge plastic castle in the middle of it that does neat things. Anyway, that's going to be available on Tabletopia all weekend next week to play for free. So go check that out, see how it works, get to see if you like it. And then Tome Saga is coming out at the same time as Viscounts. And Tome Saga is a campaign that connects all three of them, similar to the way that Rune Saga did that for the North Sea series. Tome Saga does that as well, but adds even more extra stuff that you can play with each individual game. So whether you want to play the campaign or whether you want these mini expansions for each one of the other ones, Tome Saga is going to do that. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out for all of these games very, very soon. But yeah, make sure you check out Viscounts
I can imagine playing Rune Saga followed by Tome Saga in the same day. Wouldn't that be a crazy epic day?
That sounds like something you would do. I think you need to definitely do that and post all about it on BGG. That would be wonderful.